Sandy's skills were undeniable, his principles and courage unquestioned. He was 19 years old when he threw his first pitch for the Dodgers. 19! 17 years later, at the age of 36, he became the youngest player ever inducted into the Hall of Fame. Now, here's a look at how Sandy got from there to here. He was a teenager when he made his major league debut with his hometown team, the 1955 Brooklyn Dodgers. In every sense, 19-year-old Sandy Koufax was a boy of summer. At Lafayette High School, basketball was his favorite sport. He was the captain of the team. His 1953 yearbook predicted that one day he would be a professional basketball player. His dream was to play for the Knicks. Baseball was secondary. All the while he played first base in high school. While Sandy was a basketball walk-on at the University of Cincinnati, he also made the varsity baseball team. And within a year, armed with a golden gift, the Southpaw had tryouts with the Pirates, Giants, and the Dodgers, with whom he signed a bonus contract, which meant he had to be on the big league roster the entire season. Koufax was the only teenager on the team. Sandy made 12 appearances in 1955, 5 starts, 2 complete game shutouts, including a 14 strikeout 2-hitter against Cincinnati. It was a sign of things to come, but not immediately. Through the 1960 season, he won only 36 games and lost 40, with an earned run average north of 4. And then something happened in a spring training game in 1961 in Orlando, Florida, against the Twins. Koufax walked the first 3 batters in the game. Catcher Norm Sherry came out to the mound and suggested, "Quit throwing so hard. Let him hit it." He did, and they couldn't. That was 60 years before the phrase "pitch to contact" became fashionable. In 1961, Sandy won 18 games, led the majors with 269 strikeouts, and was named to the All-Star team for the first time in what would become an annual occurrence. In 1962, he picked up where he left off. On April 24th, he struck out 18 Cubs at Wrigley Field. 2 months later, on June 30th, he would throw the first of his 4 career no-hitters. The Mets were the victims at Dodger Stadium. But the fickle finger of fate intervened. His left index finger suffered circulatory problems, and his season would effectively end in July. Even so, he went 14-7 and struck out 216 batters in just 184 innings. Fully recovered in 1963, Sandy led the majors in wins. He went 25-5. with an earned run average of 188, 11 shutouts, 306 strikeouts in 311 innings. He threw his second no-hitter and won his first Cy Young and the National League Most Valuable Player Award. And when the Dodgers swept the Yankees in the World Series, he bookended the Bombers' demise with complete games by striking out 23 and walking only 3. In 1964, Sandy threw his third career no-hitter, equaling Bob Feller's modern-era record. He went 19-5 with a 174 earned run average. But he was diagnosed with arthritis in his elbow, which would end his career prematurely just 2 years later. In his final 2 seasons, pitching in pain, and when he wasn't, his elbow seemingly always in a bucket of ice, he went 56-17 with an earned run average of under 2, with 699 strikeouts in 658 innings in 82 starts. In just 2 seasons, his last 2 seasons. In '65, he won his second Cy Young Award and pitched his 4th no-hitter, and this time, Sandy was perfect.
Sandy into his windup. Here's the pitch. Swung out and missed a perfect game.
And then came the memorable World Series against the Twins. In an act of conscience, principle, and even peaceful disobedience, the Dodger ace would not pitch in the first game, as it was on Yom Kippur, the holiest day on the Jewish calendar. But he did pitch games 2, 5, and 7, shutting out the Twins in the 5th and 7th games. In the space of 3 days, roughly 72 hours, he allowed no runs, 7 hits, 20 strikeouts, and walked only 4.
Here's the fella who gave the Dodgers the championship. Sandy, in Los Angeles, when you pitched your 7-0 shutout, you were quoted as saying after the game, "I feel 100 years old." So today, how do you feel?
101.
101.
I feel great, Benny. I know I don't have to go out there anymore for about 4 months.
Sandy, thank you so very much. And now go on back and sit down and relax a little while.
Thank you, Benny.
1966 would be his final season. The arthritis in the 30-year-old elbow would simply be too much to bear. But Koufax would save his best for last. 27 wins, 27 complete games, 317 strikeouts, a career-low earned run average of 173, and his 3rd Cy Young Award. 50 years ago this month, the Dodgers retired the team's first 3 jersey numbers of Jackie Robinson, Roy Campanella, and Sandy Koufax.
When I was younger, growing up in Brooklyn, I had some heroes. My heroes were the Brooklyn Dodgers. I never thought I'd get this chance to be standing here with them today.
His number has already been retired for a half-century, but tonight and going forward, his likeness, his leg kick, and his left arm will be immortalized, right next to number 42, Jackie Robinson, number 32, Sandy Koufax.
It has been 10 years since Mark Walter and his partners purchased the Dodgers. The improvements in the stadium itself, remarkable. Where we are this morning, Center Field Plaza, simply didn't exist 10 years ago. And the improvements on the field, Dave Roberts is here, speak for themselves. The sense of community involvement, being part of the social fabric, continues now more than ever with the Los Angeles Dodgers Foundation. The chairman and controlling owner of the Dodgers is a conservationist, a social justice advocate, and has become very close friends with Sandy. Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Walter.
Thanks, Charlie. Since our group has taken over the team over the last 10 years, we and our families have had many, many blessings, but none more cherished than the time and friendship we've had with Jane and Sandy. Sandy's accomplishments on the field are legendary. We could talk about them for days. Maybe the best summary is the simple truth. Sandy Koufax is one of the greatest players of all time. But what Sandy means off the field may be more important. He helped break barriers and stereotypes. He lifted people up. I have been told by so many people across the country, from all walks of life, whether it's just the person on the street, or the head of a university, or the head of a major company, they've told me how much Sandy Koufax has meant and means to them. He gave them confidence, he gave them inspiration, he lifted them up. And so, Sandy, when you're great on and off the field, this is one of the things that happens for you.